This is the drive home with TT for the Millwall drive home. Driving home from the Den. An electric, amazing Den for 94 minutes. What a place to be. In the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, lowly little Millwall in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, where it finished. Millwall 2, Brighton 2, and I think it was 5-4 on penalties in the end to Brighton. And congratulations to Brighton. Good luck against Man City. I think we would have severely struggled playing Man City on that Wembley pitch, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I am, and he is, and everyone in this car is so proud of that performance. You know, I know it was the atmosphere got drained out of that stadium in the 94th minute, but those boys were absolutely immense today, from the goalkeeper all the way through. You know, I am not going to say a bad word against any one of them, and if you're watching this for me to do that, you might as well turn off now, because I'm not going to. We started with Dave Martin in goal, and I thought Dave Martin had an absolutely brilliant game, other than what he did obviously in the 94th minute. There's no criticism. I felt more secure with him in goal. I felt confident with him in goal. And yeah, he makes an error. If it's a striker that makes an error, if it's a defender that makes an error, it's not necessarily going to end in that way. But obviously, he makes an error in the 94th minute. I felt he dominated his box well. He caught well for most of the game. I'm going to give Dave Martin a 9.5 out of 10. He would have got a 10, but for the mistake in the last minute. And it looked like it was going wide. We had Marlon Romeo as right back, and I thought Romeo had an absolutely smashing game. I thought he was unbelievable. 10. He drove on the ball. He never got beaten at the back. He was confident. Forget about, you know, whatever happens on penalties happens on penalties. We're a championship side, and we were absolutely distraught with the way it was. And I didn't think, I don't know how we managed to get it to a penalty shootout. So yeah, his penalty was, he hit the target. You know, the keeper's stuck a leg out. In other days that goes in. Otherwise, Marlon Romeo 10. We had Alex Pearce and Jake Cooper at the back. Great header. Well, it was a good tandem for the first goal, because I noticed that Cooper manhandled Glenn Murray, which allowed Pearce to run in at the back post and absolutely power our first goal. And what an absolute, you know, the Den, Brighton fans will say, and they quite rightly sang in injury time or extra time, and now they've got through to the final, but they won't experience many atmospheres like that. I've not experienced many atmospheres like that. The Den was amazing. It was an amazing place to be today. And the adrenaline running through your system when Pearce gets that goal, I thought he dealt well with Murray up front. You know, Murray was getting annoyed and frustrated. He's got quality, Glenn Murray, and both Pearce and Cooper done really well. Both of them. 10. Shane Ferguson, again, he's coming up against Anthony Knockaert, who's one of the trickiest wingers in the Premiership. Scored an absolute beauty of a goal against Palace. So well done for that, Knockaert. But Ferguson marshalled him really well. He got beat a couple of times, but got back in. You know, we all know Ferguson hasn't got pace, so he's got to rely on other parts of his game, and I felt like he read the game really well. You know, I know he makes the foul right at the end, but he was out on his feet by then, and he should have been playing at left back. You know, my only slight criticism for the whole game for anybody, and I understand why teams do it and they bring defensive players on, but we looked solid until James Meredith comes in at left back and he gets beaten for pace, and that's what did make it 2-1. And you know, Fergie looked comfortable playing left back. He looked like he had it sorted, and you know, we then change it, and it's happened too many times to us this season. But it is what it is. We had a midfield 5 today, and every one of those midfielders played out of their skin. You know, they tried so hard. They were out of their feet on that 94th minute, and how they got themselves going again. We had Jed Wallace on the right. I thought it was lively. A lot of what he done today actually come off. You know, sometimes it doesn't, but he worked tirelessly up and down that wing all game. Always putting himself always getting himself available, always putting himself on the line. Again, Jed Wallace, 10. We had 3 midfielders today, central midfielders, and for me, they dominated the midfield against, a decent Brighton side, but a Brighton side that didn't really look like they were going to break us down. So we had Sean Williams, we had Ryan Tunnicliffe, and we had Ryan Leonard. And do you know what? Like I said, I thought they all done really well, particularly Leonard and Tunnicliffe. Both of them, we've struggled in the centre of the park, but both Leonard and Tunnicliffe today driving on the ball. They really were comfortable with the ball at the feet. They just wanted to go at their play. They both were running into the channels, tracking everything, putting them under pressure at the back. And, I felt both of them deserved a 10. I think Williams had a decent game. He only got caught in possession once or twice. Thank you. She didn't want to let me go out. Maybe she's a Brighton fan. And I thought Williams had a decent game as well. I'll give him a 9. And then on the left we had Aidan O'Brien, and I thought Aidan had a very quiet first half and was one of our less forward players. Second half, funny enough, I said to my wife that he wasn't having a great game, and then as soon as I said that, he just seemed to, be possessed by something, because for the last, from about 55 minutes on, I thought he really come into the game. He was winning balls in the air. He was having good interplay with Ferguson on the left, putting him under pressure. Obviously, he nicks in and gets his goal, which we haven't seen enough this season from Aidan O'Brien. But that's what Aidan's done. That's what he's done as a Millwall player. He arrived late in the box, gets in front of his marker. And, my under-8s played yesterday, and we were a little bit reluctant to go to the ball, and Aidan O'Brien just shows every footballer out there that if you've got heart and desire and you want that ball, you get in front of that defender, and he's there, and he taps it home from another well-worked goal. We played really decent football. Anyone that's watching this will be thinking, how the hell are Millwall near the bottom of the Championship? Well, we don't see that every week. I wish we had that crowd every week. I wish everybody come, because that is, it was something really, really special today, and the whole place, I want those players to be in there, and of course they're going to be gutted, of course they're going to be disappointed, but they need to take that. We got to go to Leeds in the league. If we play even 80% of the effort that we put in today, we'll give Leeds a great game, and that's all we can ask for. We've got enough in this team. When you see that, when you see the players working so hard and the ability and the skill on the ball, there's no way we should be looking at relegation. And hopefully this is enough that I know that they're going to be disappointed, but to take the positives out of that game, and there's so many of them. And then obviously we had Lee Gregory up front, and again, I didn't think Lee had a great game for Lee in terms of his touch. Obviously, he works so hard, and strikers all over the world would learn a trick or two out of him for how much he puts himself on the line. Second half, again, he came more into it. When we were 2-0 up, all of our players were the better side, by far the better side. I would say, and I know I'm biased, I'm Millwall, but I felt like we were running it. But you knew as soon as we got that second goal, we were gonna sit back. I don't have a man of the match today. Today, I felt every single one of those boys put their heart on their sleeve, and they went out there and done everything they could. And undeservedly, we haven't got another trip to Wembley, but I think it's only fair that we let other smaller clubs than ourselves have a trip to Wembley. We've been there quite a few times, and I was just thinking, I don't think no one next year, January, I think it's 6th, but we'll look at the drawing for the third round. No one in their right mind, and I don't care who, Man City, even Man United, they are not going to want to draw Millwall away. We are that place is a fortress in the FA Cup, and we need to turn it into the league. So if you can get to the Den, if you are a Millwall fan and you've come today and you can go to 1 or 2 games, you've got to turn out for the rest of the season, because there's no way on earth, if we nearly fill the Den, that we are going to get relegated, because our atmosphere is just too good. It motivates the boys. Do you know what? I do ref watch now. I've completely forgotten his name. And I thought he was all right. We had a Premiership ref. Decisions, 50-50 decisions went both ways. I felt that obviously we were lucky with the goal. There was no VAR, and you could tell that it probably would have been ruled out because Cooper does wrestle him to the floor. But then saying that, it was very tough on Fergie to give the foul away for the free kick that went for their second goal. They'd come together and he's thrown himself to the floor and got the foul, and you think obviously that made a difference. But I'm happy with the officials today. We don't often get the 50-50s, and we got some of them today, so no complaints for me on ref watch. And I would say, I think Sian Massey was the Lions woman down on our side, and I thought she had an absolutely cracking game. Called it fair, and that's all you want. That's all I want at the Den. I don't want it to be biased. I want decisions to go both ways because that's football. And what an advert for the FA Cup that was. There's been some dire games in the FA Cup quarterfinals. The Swansea game against Man City was a cracker, and they were unlucky to go out. Swansea and us we've done the Championship very, very proud in our performances, and it just shows you that no matter what league you're in, the FA Cup has its magic. Zach, who's your man of the match today?
It's really hard because everyone played what they were supposed to. There was a few mistakes from everyone, but everyone was my man of the match.
There you go. I couldn't put it better myself. To see the passion on his face, I'll tell you, there's a lump in my throat because we're 2-0 up and he was so emotional, and then 2-2 and he's absolutely gone. That's football, that's the passion of the FA Cup. It gets celebrated nowhere better than it does at the Den. Yes, we shouldn't have made the subs that we made. Meredith, like I said, he's got taken for pace, and we've done that too many times this season. If we kept attacking them, I think we would have gone through. But it's all if, buts and maybe. You know what the winner today? Today, football was the winner. And Brighton, well done for hanging on in there. Good luck in the semi-finals against Man City, because you are most certainly gonna need it. I felt your fans sung well today. But more than ever, I am proud of this badge. I'm proud of being a Millwall fan. You could have done no more. Come on, you Lions.